But for me, if I like something, I mean, I do it. I do it all the way. I wouldn't feel like I was a kendama player, a real kendama player for myself, right? If I hadn't gone to check out where it came from.
All right, everybody, welcome in for another interview here on Office Hours. Today, I am welcomed by a newer member of our Kendama community. I've been interviewing a lot of old school legends, but I have a new school homie who has been doing a lot for Kendama in the social media realms, helping bring other brands together through Kendama and really just overall inspiring joy and play in our world. And I couldn't be more stoked to have you on today. So let's give a big warm welcome to our good buddy, Hesh Dad. What's up, dude?
What's up, everybody? Dude, I'm very excited to be here.
Dude,
Cool.
I'm excited to have you, man. It's cool to learn new things about people because obviously me and you've crossed paths a ton, but like I don't know your whole story. So I'm super excited to dig into her a little bit today.
Oh, dude, me too. I'm an open book of a human being, so I've got lots of fun stories and things to share.
Nice, dude. Well, let's get right into it. The first question I have is I opened up calling you Hesh Dad because that's how I know you and that's who I know you as. Do you have a real name that you go by at all, or like what is your name situation?
I think that's like the most common question. I think that's the most asked question that I get.
Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, I'll lock eyes with somebody at an event or something, and they'll just be like, "So what's your name?" And I go by Hesh. I really do. It is not my birth name. I'll just clear the air there. That is not my birth name. If you look hard enough, you can find it.
Word.
It's just something that I don't go by anymore. Long story short, I distanced myself from my family. They're a bunch of stinkers. So I left the name with it, and I had been using Hesh on social media for years, dude, like 7 years or something like that.
Oh, okay, word.
And it had already become just such a common thing for people just to call me Hesh because that's how they knew me. That I was like, well, let's just rock and roll with it. And then I did some digging too. I should look it up now actually. But the meaning of the name Hesh in another country, I can't remember what it is, but it means like brave and courageous and like all these really nice things. And I was like, oh, well, I align with all those things. So
was Hesh not a skating?
No,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So Hesh is a skating term.
Okay.
It was like lightly brought to my attention by the movie Hesher. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's like an indie film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's fantastic. I can't attribute the name to that, but I want to say I started around the same time that I had watched that. So the name Hesh was probably fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up skateboarding and I was in a hardcore band for a few years that played shows and stuff. So it all just kind of worked.
Yeah, dude.
And it's not a weed thing either. It's not a weed thing. Everyone thinks it's hash. It's Hesh. It's not a weed thing at all. Like 0% a weed thing.
Yeah. I always knew it as like a skating word. So when I saw you, I just the name fit your profile, and I didn't think twice about it after I saw that. I was like, oh, cool name, solid, you know?
Yeah, like punk looking dude.
Yeah.
He probably skates.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, getting a name like Sweets, I can relate to just like it's something sticking after a while, you know what I'm saying? And then that becoming who you are. You don't have to talk about it a lot, but like how long have you not spoken with your family? Has it been a while, like since a young kid, or is it a recent thing?
It's been about, I want to say like 5 years now. I'm trying to think of how old my kids are.
Yeah.
That's like my timeline for everything. It's been about 5 years.
Oh, dang.
It's been awesome, dude. It's been so sick. I've been able to like really dive into like the stuff that I have wanted to do without like unneeded pressures and opinions.
I can imagine.
Healthy for like me. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 5 years or so.
Dang. So you grew up in like a straight-laced family. Let's go. I always like talking to people about their childhood anyway, so we're kind of getting into that. Like my
Yeah.
first question usually is like, is there anything in your childhood that you did that would lead you to believe that you would play kendama someday, or that stuff that you did in your childhood, adolescence? Was there anything that was like, a precursor to like kendama and other things you would do in the future?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I mean, obviously, I didn't know about kendama until 3 years ago. Like, I'd
Yeah,
never seen one.
so
I'd never
insane.
laid my eyes on one. But when I was a kid, quick backstory, if
Yeah.
anyone in the skateboarding or snowboarding community knows of LibTech snowboards and skateboards,
Mm-hmm.
so they're also called Mervin Manufacturing. Uh, to shorten that, my godfather is Mervin, and the two guys that own LibTech are like really close family friends of ours. We had Thanksgiving with them every year. Like we
Wow.
lived with them for a while. So I grew up around surfers and snowboarders and skateboarders. Like I got my first skateboard when I was 4.
Dang.
I was I was skateboarding with a group called the Borders for Christ. I was heavily involved in the church when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a sponsored skater through them when I was like 10 or 11.
Dang.
Yeah, yeah, I
No.
did that for like a year, and we ended up doing other stuff. But yeah, so I was super into skateboarding when I was really young. I learned how to ride a unicycle in like 4th grade just because
Hey.
it looked cool and my dad had one.
Same.
I was
Same.
juggling really early, like 8 years old, 9 years old. I just
Mm-hmm.
like had a knack for weird stuff. Like if it looked like if it made me go, ooh, that's cool. I've just anything at all. I'm just like, I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna figure this out until I'm good enough at it that I can be like, hey, check this out, and then I go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Um, Skateboarding though is the one that really stuck out with me like the most out of everything. So I think that, and it's funny too because people are like, man, you got such a skater style the way you play kendama. I'm like, oh well, that
That's
makes sense.
what I've been doing my whole
That's what
life, right?
I'm mostly rooted in. Yeah, is that.
Oh, that's so cool, dude. So you grew up like so the company, I know the company as a snowboarder, like that's kind of insane. They were big. So did you
Yeah.
where were you located? Where were you living?
Just like Linwood, Washington,
Oh, okay. So you grew up
about
in
15
like
minutes south of
Washington?
Seattle. Yeah, born and raised. And I've never left.
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah.
isn't
Oh yeah.
Finley, so you work for Finley but not in Finley in Oregon?
Yeah, I'm really good at just like leaving that out of.
Yeah, you're really good at that too. Like I somehow
Yeah.
thought you were there.
Well, and even I mean, it's funny. Even Kelvin Wong at LVKO, he was like, "Hesh, the owner of Finley." I'm like, people think I'm the owner of this thing. No, I'm not even there, man.
That's actually
But
clowning.
no, I can give you a little backstory on that too, I
Yeah.
guess, if
Yeah,
you'd like
we
one.
can jump around. I don't care. Let's go.
Oh, cool. So I was working as a Zoomy store manager in Northgate. It was actually their first location. I wasn't managing it when like it was the first one, but that was just a cool thing about that
Oh, got
spot.
it.
But anyway, the Finley dudes came through because they were trying to get into Zoomies, and they were like, "Hey, we want to give you and your team some hats." And I was like, "Yo, that's super sick."
Uh-huh.
So I tried a hat on and I mean, obviously, like anyone that's rocked one, they're like, "Yo, these are sick."
Yeah.
So then I just started blasting him with emails. I mean, honestly, I would have told myself to go away. I'm like, "You're annoying."
Yeah.
I don't know. But like anything I do, I went all the way into it, and we ended up getting them into Zoomies. It wasn't all me; it was just kind of like I'll tell you to talk to this person type thing. And
Yeah.
then, long story short, they ended up bringing me on. Um, I don't even remember I'm talking about that, but
Finlay brought you on.
oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, and then
As
Finley got me on.
So Finlay brought you on as social media manager of sorts?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they brought me on just because like I just started making content. Like I wasn't making any kind of content before that, so I just like started taking pictures at skate parks and like trying to take clips with my hat and like just doing cool stuff. and I was getting like people were buying hats with my code, and they're like, "Yo, dude, this guy's hustling hats out here like no one else that we've got."
Uh-huh.
So I kept emailing them, and eventually they're just like, "Yo, let's bring you on. We'll have you start managing our social stuff." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And that just became too easy. I was like, "Give me more. I need more
Mm-hmm.
stuff to do." And I mean, they were getting buried in emails. It was like an 8-person team, like 6-person team when I found them, like their very first year.
Yep.
So they're just getting buried in emails and orders, and I was able to just like, "Hey, anything you can send to me, just like send it to me, and I'll take care of it."
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for, I don't know, a couple of months, and then yeah, maybe 6 months, and then they're like, "All right, we're gonna put you on salary. You're gonna be our head of customer service. You're gonna be in charge of all of the social media stuff. That anything incoming, you're the guy talking to them." Uh, and yeah, dude, it's been sick. I was able to
Dang.
like leave. I've only pretty much only been doing this, and just like, I mean, I don't make that much money from content. It's enough to DoorDash once in a while,
Sure, yeah.
but yeah, I'm pretty much just doing that now, and I get to do it all from home because it's just all stuff that I can be like, all right, we'll put this order here, and I'll email this person so they don't have to deal with this thing, and
Yeah.
just trying to tie up all the loose ends that allow people to make hats and ship hats.
Yeah, dude. You're like a virtual
Yeah,
assistant that knows everything going on, essentially, who can like
yeah,
virtually take care of stuff. That's super rad, dude. Holy. How
it's
cool that you
fun.
can
Yeah,
grow into the role. And the company's grown too since you've been there, right?
holy crap, yeah. So when we started, it was just a garage. Like it was very just one car garage. I mean, maybe two, but it was
Mm-hmm.
just a tiny little garage, like a manual. Every grommet was done by hand. Like everything was done one at a time. And then they ended up moving to a houseboat, and then a little warehouse spot, and then a bigger warehouse spot, where we're at now, with a retail spot that's attached to it. So you can actually go in and shop an entirely different selection of stuff than what's
Whoa.
on the website. Like it's all different, exclusive to that. And then we started doing live personal shoppers too, where you can like video call on Instagram, and one of the retail staff will like walk you around the shop, and you can make a custom hat at the hat bar, or like grab something off the
Damn.
wall, whatever. It's sick. It's super sick because so many people are
Jeez.
out of town, they can't make it. So
Yeah.
we just bring them to the warehouse.
Wow, bro. That's kind of
Yeah, it's been
crazy. I didn't
sick.
know that when you were talking about that, I didn't put two and two together until you just like walked me through it. That's pretty insane. So you can
It's
technically go to the
awesome.
Finlay retail store. If you try hard enough, you can get whatever hat you want out of that spot. That's cool.
Yep. Getting a spot's tough, but if you get one, you're lucky.
Yeah, dude. No, that's so funny. Like the Zoomies thing is like when we're talking about looking the part, you look like a Zoomies manager, right? Like that's so just
Dude,
on
yeah.
brand. It's too perfect sometimes. So skating
It
as a
was meant
kid,
to be.
yeah, no, for real, dude. And your childhood led you there. All this skating you were doing. So when like skating is the thing you attach yourself to the most, did you compete? Did you film? How old are you? May I ask? Is that an okay
Oh,
thing to
sure,
ask?
yeah. So I'm 35. I'll be 36 this year.
Oh, so we're the same age.
Uh yeah.
He's
Yeah,
born
we
in the
are.
same
We're a
year.
couple
Cool.
old fogies in here.
Yeah, but that gives me a little like timeline to like skateboarding because I skateboarded too. Like I
Yeah.
got my first deck was a Chad Muska Rising Sun.
The Rising Sun.
Yeah, dude, like
Was
one
it
of
a
his
mini?
first. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
No
You
way
got a
you.
good one.
Honestly, it probably is worth so much money, but like my parents didn't want me to skate. Like they knew I was accident prone because I did a lot of sports, and they were like, "Dude, you're just gonna hurt yourself," and they were right.
Yeah.
But like they kept it away from me as long as they could. But I remember in 7th grade getting that Chad Muscadet, and then I was at the park every day after school, like doing what I could. But I never got the Kendama itch where I was like, I got to do this every day. I see potential in
Yeah.
this. I could get better. I was like, it's one of those things you start where you're like, oh, I can get kind of good, but I'm never gonna be kickflip front boarding like that fool over there who's my age is doing.
Yeah.
Like
I'll never be an Andrew Reynolds or
yeah,
um, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So you were the
Cause
same way. You kind of just did it as a fun pastime, a way to like make friends and hang out.
yeah,
And
pretty much. I mean, like I did a couple of competitions here and there. Like I won one local comp, but it
oh,
was like
sick.
everyone else had a bad day. Like I
Yeah,
only won because
whatever,
everyone else did
whatever.
so bad.
The most humble winner in middle school, dude.
No, seriously, I didn't flip my board once. Like no kick flips. It was all like ollies and like 50-50s and stuff. I just like landed the tricks I wanted to. And dude, other guys were like sponsored by the local shop, like throwing trays down pens.
Oh,
And I didn't do it. And they just didn't
they
land
all
anything.
bailed.
So I won. Yeah, I won a box of Cliff Bars and a $20 gift certificate to a gas station or something. I can't remember.
Well, it sounds like you remember pretty good. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was funny.
I was like gonna give you props, but you're like, no, I remember clearly. Like everyone else literally didn't land anything.
Yeah, they did really bad.
Hey, that happens. You know, you can win a speed ladder just by being the turtle in the race. You know.
Yeah. Well, and dude, and another, I forget about this all the time because I'm just like so removed from it. But I was a skateboarding instructor at a summer camp called Island Lake Summer Camp. It was put on by this like a Christian, what was it called? Christian Ministries type thing. And they had like paintball, a 10,000 square foot skate park, dirt bikes, jet skis. It was like an extreme sports summer camp.
Yeah.
And I taught skateboarding there for 2 summers. It was sick.
What? And how old were you when you were doing that?
I was like 13 and 14. My older brother, he's 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And he's the one who got me in. So he's like, well, he can just like stay with me and do the things that I'm doing, and he can help me teach skate class. And they're like, sure, yeah, we need help. So
Dang.
bring him in, and they'd put me to work in the kitchen and cleaning stuff up and whatever else. But it was all fun. It was just, like an absolute blast at all times. The best grilled cheese.
I mean, 13, 14-year-old, that's like a dream first job, is teaching skateboard at an extreme skateboard camp. Like that's what dreams are made of at that point.
Dude, it was like you clean up and you cook on grilled cheese Wednesdays, and you got a free ride for the next 6 weeks or something like that we'd stay out there. It was awesome.
Dude.
And funny thing about that place too is if you worked there, no one was allowed to know your name, so you would have a different name that everyone would call you until the end of the week, and then you could reveal your real name at the end of the week.
What's the purpose?
Just like a fun thing. It's to keep you connected with like your camp counselor, so that it's like, I don't know everything about you until the very end, and then you like finally get to know that final piece about them.
Yeah.
It was just like a bonding thing and something that was fun.
Yeah.
And it was easier for kids to remember, like if your name was Shrubbery instead of Lisa, or whatever the name would be. So, like I was Mr. Clean because my brother worked there before me, and he was Mr. Yuck, like the Mr. Yuck stickers.
Oh, sure.
So we were Mr. Yuck and Mr. Clean. Much easier to remember than,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun. It was super fun.
That's some mental. There's some really smart person who did that. There's got to be some mental advantage to like doing that at the beginning of the week, because like you said, it's bonding, or it's something that's like keeping the mystery alive with someone who you just met or something, or it makes you bond in a way that maybe it goes quicker because of that secret that you now hold or something. I'm super curious because it's the second time it's come up in a week for me, hearing a group of people having to do this for a getaway thing.
I think there's something also to like, like if you were to hear my name, right? 9 times out of 10, people go, "Oh, you're such a that. You're so that." And I think removing someone's name, you can't do that. Let's say Karen, right? Like that's a very popular name that now has something attached to it. You can't look at that person and have to think Karen every time you address them. You have to think, whatever it is.
Yeah, popsicle or whatever.
Popsicle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thumbnails.
I like that.
That was another great name. Yeah, thumbnails.
What up, Thumbnails?
It's a goofy name.
Oh, dude.
It'd be like 100 people that all like just yell names at you, and everyone's trying to decide, and then finally the group decides on one name.
I like it.
It was chaotic.
Yeah,
that's cool.
No, that is super cool. So now you strike me as a guy who's had a bunch of cool jobs. Starting at 13 doing skateboarding. Like, did you have any other cool jobs along the way?
Dude, no,
Not
not really.
just normal
I
jobs.
worked a bunch of jobs that I thought I was supposed to work.
Yeah.
Like I would try being an electrician
Oh,
for a few years.
nah.
Not for me. I was scared the whole time, just
Dude,
frightened.
I just kicked it with a homie who's an electrician who's like, yeah, dude, last week got fully crisped. Like, he died
Yeah,
because the arc jumped from something to him and he didn't have anything to
yeah,
do with it. He didn't do his job wrong at all. He was just
there.
in the wrong place. And I was like, how do you go to work every day knowing that that can just happen to you? That's actually insane.
Yeah, nope, not for me.
Yeah.
No, I did a lot of like service industry jobs. Oh, I guess I worked at a pirate bar once. That was a cool job. I
Hey.
worked as a bartender at a pirate themed bar. That was pretty sick.
So you dressed up for work every
Yeah,
day? Patch and
not
all?
every day, but like I mean, everyone was like pretty piratey. I had like chest length hair at the time, like really long
Oh,
hair, and I would
dang.
like curl my mustache up like Hook from like the '90s Hook.
Oh, I want to
Uh,
see long-haired, mustached Hesh, dude. That would be epic.
I'll I'll do a throwback
Yeah.
one of
Okay.
these days. I'll
Okay.
send it to you. I won't forget.
Yeah.
There's some gems.
I bet, dude.
Uh, but it's like if you crossed me and Johnny Depp together, just like imagine what that kind of looks like.
Yes, I can imagine, dude. That sounds epic.
Sick. But yeah, after I had kids, or after I had my daughter, she was up in my hair and up in my beard, just pulling it out all the time. I had to let it go. It's the only reason
Oh,
it's short.
really? The
I
kid.
couldn't take. Dude, it hurts so bad, so bad.
Oh, dude, beards, I can't even imagine. Mine gets a little long, and I'm just like, how do you fools with long beards deal with it? But I miss my long hair like every day. I don't have it. I grow it and cut it. It's just my cycle, but like missing it is part of my cycle too, I think, because like it's just, because that makes you want to
What
grow it
makes
out
you
again.
appreciate it more when it's back?
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Cool. Dude, tattoos. I wanted to talk about and touch on them
Yeah,
just because I have lots of tattoos. I enjoy them. And I'm sure you have some cool stories about them in general. When did you get your first tattoo?
my first tattoo, I was 18, and I got matching tattoos with my dad and my brother, and we all got them on like the same day. They're like big back tattoos, like this big.
Damn, no way.
Yeah, it
That's a
was like
pretty
I think it
intense
was
first tattoo.
yeah, it was like 4 hours or something. It wasn't fun. Dude, I bled so bad. I haven't bled like that since then, but I don't know where the picture is, but dude, I was like dripping all down my back. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot for my first tattoo. The
Uh,
guy was heavy-handed.
Dude, that's something I've learned about tattooing over the years that I didn't know, that there's people who just they are that way, or there's people that are light-handed, and the art comes out the same almost half the time, but it's their
Yeah,
style that change that you can't unlearn a heavy hand or something, like that's just becomes their style. And
seriously.
yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah, my I think the only person that I think is different is my wife because she's a tattooer, and I think she personally makes my tattoos hurt more than everyone else that I know.
yeah.
I think it's just like a weird vendetta she's got against me.
Yeah. So having her having a tattooer as a wife, is it like having a masseuse as a wife? Like you don't just get tattoos all the time. Like you still have to book it and plan it and like it's
Dude,
or is she
so
just like
this is the thing.
down to for whatever, whenever?
So she's down for whatever, whenever. But I think it's something I wish I would have known, or I guess been more prepared for, was that when you have just total access to tattoos, all of the stuff that leads up to the tattoo, like you would normally get, figuring out where you want to go and figuring out who's going to do the design and saving up the money, working to save up that money, like thinking of the date in your head for months out,
Yeah.
all of that goes away. It's all gone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so do you want me to blast this on you really fast? And you're like, you know what? That sounds like it's gonna hurt. And I don't want to do that right now. But it took a lot of the fun of like the process of getting a tattoo away and I'm such a process-oriented person that I have a lot less fun getting tattooed now.
Wow, dude, that's so
Even though I
cool.
have access to it, and I've gotten tattooed less, I think, honestly, since she became a tattooer. I think because I have such access to it, I'm just like, not today.
Yeah, dude. I think, and that's why I asked the way I did, because I think when your spouse does something like that, it just becomes like anything else in your life, where it's like, oh, she has a job, she does that. Like, could I get a tattoo? Yes, but like you said, what's the fun in just saying, hey, put this Snoopy on my leg right now? I'm feeling a Snoopy
Yeah,
tattoo tonight. It's like,
yeah.
it's so much different, bro. But
I'm
that's
like, oh, honestly, that's about the only time I will get tattooed anymore. If she's like, "Hey, I brought my machine home and I got this weird ass thing I want to do," I'm like, "All right."
yeah.
Like if it's super wacky, I'll be like, "Yeah, I want that. I'll take that."
Yeah.
No one else is gonna get it. I'll get it.
So are you is your body fully covered?
Mostly, I think my thighs, I need some work on, and then a bunch of unfinished stuff everywhere else. But
Yeah.
pretty much, I think
Dang.
my ribs and my thighs are like the only places that don't have tattoos on them.
Yeah.
I got them in my mouth, on my lip.
Yeah.
I got them on my palm. That was terrible,
Ow.
terrible, dude. And I've done it twice, and one of them fell out because it didn't get put in deep enough. It was
Oh.
equally as bad.
So you go through
Yeah,
the
I don't.
process and all the pain, and then it doesn't even stick. Like,
Yeah. Well, it was my partner's very first time getting to tattoo a palm. Like they wanted to tattoo one really, really bad.
yeah.
And dude, I told myself I would never do it again, but I was like, babe, I love you. Of course I'm gonna be the one
Yeah, of
that sits here
course.
and gets my palm blasted. And I mean some of it's there, but most of it's gone. It was like this heart with an arrow through it and all this stuff.
Oh.
But
So is that the most
yeah, I was
painful
like,
then? The hand?
oh, hands down. I mean, no pun
Y-
intended. It truly is an out of body. I've never experienced. I've broken bones and stuff. Thought I was gonna die. Nothing comes close to what a palm tattoo feels like. It's
Really?
truly terrible. Yes, it is,
There's
bro.
that many like sensory things on your hand? Or like, is it the bone or like, what is the
Well,
feeling?
so so all of the nerve endings for for your hand and your arm, they run right through your wrist.
Oh, word. Yeah, the
And
wrist
essentially
sucks.
the closer that you get to those receptors, the gnarlier it's gonna hurt. That's why wrist tattoos suck so bad.
It's the worst.
Uh,
Yeah.
is is because there's all those nerve endings are so condensed in that area. Um, and man, if you were to just grab a needle and like poke your hand one time, and then think about doing that for an hour or like hour and a half. Oh,
Ah.
I'm telling you, I thought I was ready. I'd tried numbing cream. The first time I had been drinking a whole bunch, didn't matter. Didn't matter at all. All of that went right out of the window, and it was just like it was unbelievably painful. Like it,
Crazy. I like want
can't
to do
explain
it
it.
now just because of you saying
You
that.
should
Like that's literally
do it.
because the pain
Get
part of tattoos is I like it,
just get like the
like
little get a little drumstick or something silly on like the meat of your
oh.
thumb. Or if you really want to do it, get it up by the bottoms of your fingers.
Yeah, okay. I can the pads of your hand, dude. Oh,
Dude, it's just the worst thing. I mean, even just like just
healing.
think about it, right? Open up your hand, okay? You've gotten tattooed before. Just
Oh
open
yeah.
up your hand and set it down for a second and just really let it soak in.
Yeah, that would suck to hold it open even that long.
That's a
Cause it's
really
gotta
hard
be
part too. I had
tight,
to have my
huh?
hand taped down for the second one. I couldn't keep it.
Oh,
It
because it
is
has to be
so
tight.
hard
It
to.
can't be creased. It
You
has to
have to
be.
keep your hand open.
Oh,
I'm receiving
dang.
this from you, all right. And and everything in you is telling you to pull your hand away. Like dude, it is a mental battle, a physical battle.
Oof.
Craziest hour, one of the craziest hours of my entire life.
That's so sick. I'm glad I asked, dude. I've always thought head tattoos, and when I think about things that like make me go, "Oh my God," like having a needle on your skull resonating through your dome, like that to me gives me like goosebumps in the worst way thinking about that.
Yo, that's the only place I don't have yet is like my actual head. Like I have some stuff that's, skimming the sides,
Yeah.
that's, I got some stuff on my hairline. Oh wait, which one? That one.
Yeah.
That hairline.
And that stuff
But
didn't
dude,
hurt.
none of the face stuff hurts at all. I'll
Huh.
say that. It doesn't hurt at all. I could sit for as long as anywhere longer, honestly. Like this guy, it was like butterfly kisses. This one, dude, I
Cause it's
mean,
just all fatty.
it yeah, pinch your face. You have to pinch your face really hard for you to be like, ah.
Yeah, that's true. Do you
That's
have
a
it?
really good test. Is if you pinch a place in your body for anyone that wants to get a tattoo, grab your nails and pinch just a tiny little spot. It's gonna hurt around that much in tattoo form. It always works.
It's a good test, honestly. We just got my daughter over shots at the doctor and shit from that to be like, yo, just pinch yourself. Like it doesn't hurt worse than you are gonna pinch yourself. It hurts right. Remember, it goes ooh, like that's all it is at the doctor. And once you like correlate those two, then it doesn't seem so bad, and it's worked a little bit for us. But that is true, dude. That's why I pinch my ribs and I go, no tattoo on my ribs, please, dude. I got one,
Nope.
and never again, bro. Never again. You couldn't pay me
Absolutely
to
not.
tattoo my ribs.
I've seen too many people cry getting their ribs tattooed. I will never.
Yeah.
Nope.
I watched my wife cry,
I'm
right?
okay.
She almost went home with half a ghost tattoo from Sour Match because she was like, "Can I just be done?" And I was like, "Dude, you can have half a tattoo. That's up to you." But I think we can make it another half hour if you just try, dude. But ribs.
That's stomach for me. That's the only place that I haven't been able to like really sit and finish. I mean, my palm was only like an hour, but obviously the stomach's much larger.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think comes in hot at number 2.
Yeah.
Easy number 2. The stomach sucks.
Ugh.
You're getting sliced open.
Yeah, dude. No, thank you. All right. Well, that was
And you
great.
really have to like have your hands above your have your hands above your head.
Oh,
You're like totally prone, ribs exposed, everything exposed, all stretched out.
Oh, I watched Rodney get his meditation tattoo in Japan and his whole stomach, and it's all dots. So it's little dots the size of a pencil that make the design, and it covers his whole body. And I watched him do it, and I never seen him in pain like that when it was like.
Oh, I bet he was dying.
And you're only in Japan for a certain amount of time, so you don't get to just be like, oh, I'll be back tomorrow. This dude's booked for months and months and months. So it was,
yeah.
Oh man,
I'm definitely hoping to get a tattoo of some kind from somewhere when I'm out there.
Hey,
that's on the list.
Yeah. Well, if you go to Osaka, dude, I got a spot for you that I've gotten 2 at that the people are really cool, and there's lots of good apprentices that are down to do tattoos. So
I would love that. I will be in Osaka for a little bit.
Oh, dude,
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be pre-event for like 2 days.
Oh.
And then an extra day after. So there should be some time.
Well, if you want a tattoo day, you let me know. I for real have a homie spot. They got Kendamas there, and I go there every time. Even if I don't get tattooed, I go to say hi and just check in because I want a place to get tattooed in Japan when I go there. So it's always good to keep those connections alive. That's so cool that you're going to KWC, dude. Holy. That's a pretty big step. 3 years in, dude. You're off to Japan. Holy.
Yeah, well, and I'm really excited that I don't have to work. I'm just going as a player.
Oh, nice.
I'm not working a booth. I'm not, I mean, obviously I'm representing for Finlay and Serial, but I just get to go and experience Japan. There haven't been many things in my life that have made me want to travel. Like I just totally upfront, I don't like traveling.
Word. Yeah, that's true.
Not that I don't like it. I've never been drawn to it, I think is a better way to say that.
Yep.
I'm just not a fan of all the hubbub, of all the anxiety around it. Not like having a safe space when I get to somewhere. Mm-hmm. But for me, if I like something, I mean, I do it. I do it all the way. I just wouldn't feel like I was a kendama player, a real kendama player for myself, right? If I hadn't gone to check out where it came from,
That's cool. That's
I
how
got
and how
respect to pay, dude.
I love that that's how you feel, man. I mean, how soon into your kendama journey did you feel that you were like, dude, I am going to Japan. Like, I am going to make this a goal. This is a real thing in my life. Like 1 year in, a month ago, like, what do you think?
I would say the beginning of this year was when I'm like, I had entertained the idea, like, oh, that'd be cool, but I'd never like really had a fire to like figure out how to get there and be like, babe, we're saving some money, like
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna make this happen. I would say that was like early this year when I was like, I think when I realized it could happen, like that I
Yeah.
was in the right place, just like financially, but also the right place in where I was at with Kendama and like how I really felt about it. I think that part of Serial asking me to join their team, it really made me go, so how do I feel about this? Like, I have fun with it, but like, how do I actually feel about this? Like, where do I really want to go? Um, so that was part of the decision making thing was like, well, it's been 3 years and I keep getting more excited about it. So I'd be doing myself a disservice not to go.
Yeah.
you know,
That's
if
such
I
a good that's such a good way to put it. Is your wife going with you?
No, I wish she's gonna be staying home hanging out with the
Oh, I
kiddos.
suppose. Yeah, good call. What kind of stupid dad question was that? Um, yeah.
Well,
So are you
we
going?
have a bunch of people that live here. So there's always grown-ups here. We got her brother, so my brother-in-law, he's here with his partner and their two kids.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then family friend, uncle, that my wife has known since she was 14. Um, this is his house that we live at. We moved from the last house we all lived at together, and we just found a bigger one, and we all moved together. So there's like 8 of us that live here.
Dang,
Uh,
cool.
two two families, and then an extra uncle.
Yeah.
So there's always people here, but everyone's, uncle runs the tattoo shop, the
Oh,
family friend. He's the guy who bought the tattoo shop that my wife was working at before it is the shop it is now.
yep.
And then obviously, there's a whole other family that's got gymnastics and, Girl Scouts and things going on. So
Yeah.
she'll be here holding it down.
Yeah, dude. So are you solo on your trip then?
Yeah, just me, dude. I'm
Wow.
honestly very nervous. Just going that far away from home by myself, but Johnny and Win are like, you're pretty much just you're gonna be stuck next to us the whole time, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure that you're good. I'm like, okay,
Oh, they're gonna
well,
be
that'll
there?
be, yeah, they're
Oh,
gonna be
okay,
there.
good, good. So you have someone escorting you around Japan. You're not for real trying to figure the trains out and do everything by yourself the whole time.
No, not quite yet. Well, I
Okay.
got to get myself to Osaka, and
Yeah.
then once I'm in Osaka, then I'm good from there.
Yeah.
So
Well, dude,
it should be all right.
if you need any help, I'm a lifeline you can throw out there at any point. I'm sure I've run into whatever problem you run into, and I can help you along the way. So feel free
Hell
to
yeah.
hit me up if
Well,
you ever need me.
I'm 2 weeks. I'm 2 weeks into learning Japanese too. I figured I got a couple of months to try and learn Japanese.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I've been taking Japanese too.
Oh, dude, that's perfect. As long as you learn Simasen,
I
you're
want to be
fine.
prepared, bro. I want
So
to be like very prepared when I get there.
yeah. Dude, any little bit you can throw, they love it, So know your
Yeah,
Segoys, know your Simasens, know your yeah. Talking about food is always good because you're eating all the time. So I learned how to tell the
yeah,
people that their food is delicious. So every time I leave, I'm telling them the food was great. Like small things like that go such a long way to make them because there's such a everything is so respectable and so honorable and it's all about this connection, not about the tip or about the whatever. So being able to show
yeah.
those kind gestures are good.
That was one of the first things that I wanted to learn was how to give people compliments. Was
Yeah,
like, how
dude.
do I say that I like, that your style is cool or that I like your shoes or just because like that's how I start conversation here. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, how am I gonna do that there?
Yeah, dude. All
what
right.
what kind of stuff do I talk to people at Kendama events about and how am I gonna, navigate through that?
Yeah, dude. Well, a slang that I learned that helped me a lot was cho sugoi. Or no, I mean,
Sugoi?
no, it's Choyabai. Choyabai.
Choyabai?
Yeah, Choyabai means so sick. Like, that was sick.
So sick.
Nice
Okay.
trick, you know? So if someone laces something with it, you can be like, Choyabai.
Choyabai. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I'll have to remember that.
That's what high receipts be saying, you know. But that's that was one of the first things that when as an American they're like, you'll like this word. Everyone will understand what you're saying. I was like, all right, perfect. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want people to know, use this one.
Yeah.
Here's the word.
Because Sugoi is good, but that's just like you learned it on Duolingo. But Yabai is like, hey, you know what you're saying, you know? Like that's
you've been around here before.
yeah, exactly. Cool, man. Well, so you're gonna go to Hatsukaichi. I mean, I could talk to you the whole entire interview about Japan, so we're not gonna do that because I love Japan more than anything. And sadly, I don't think I'm going to be able to go this year. But you have to have double the fun for me. And I'll give you a list of a few of my favorite spots to go check out when you're out there. That's for sure.
I'll have to report back to you and let you know how they are.
Yeah, dude, please. So I'd be really remiss to not talk about your Kendama journey at all. I've learned a lot about you outside of Kendama, which is super sick. And you are just as interesting as a human as I anticipated before we started talking in the best way possible. But I'd like to learn about your Kendama journey a little bit. And so just tell me how you found Kendama and, you know, how long did it take you before you were like, okay, I'm addicted to this thing. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Dude. Walk me through the beginning a little bit.
Yeah, I was just chilling at home, and my wife came home from like grabbing supplies for the tattoo shop, and she had hit up like a Staples or whatever, and they had a Kendama at the checkout stand. It was like right around Christmas time. What would that have been? 2021, whatever the year math is on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she brought it home, and it was just, I mean, it was like some no brand. I mean, egg-shaped glossy boy. Can I grab it? I can grab it.
Yeah, let's see this egg-shaped glossy boy. It's just got a big old crosscut on the back. You didn't notice? Imagine.
Oh, that would be so funny. I've done some wood burning on it and stuff too. I was doing wood burning art for a while, but I got too busy to keep doing it. But it's just this little guy.
Oh, that's I know that brand.
That's the logo. I didn't burn that. That was on there.
That's how I know what it is. Oh man, who is in the Cody Grizz would know it in a second. It's
the tiniest bevel ever. Like the tiniest bevel.
Yeah, that was like F3 era. That was like a 2015, 2016 Dama.
Yeah, dude, it's
Kendama Masters maybe
like compared to some of the other like dollar store and like other types of spots that I've found Kendamas, it's definitely a more updated shape. Like it's fully playable all the way.
Is it? Like you can lunar it?
It won't lunar.
I was just gonna say you can lunar it.
I don't think. I mean,
if you can place it, you can lace it. Oh, hey, we can.
Stick. Yeah, it'll stick.
Look at that. Beauty, dude. See?
I might have to do a first Dama edit. That'd be a fun competition. Like who could do little edits with your first Kendamas.
Yeah.
Or like your oldest one.
I like that. Jake's been playing with the TK16 and he's like, his is all fresh and nice. So I feel like I need to get a new black one and like, cause it would be cool to like go to my first edit and do first tricks with the first Dama, you know, like recreate it.
Yeah.
You should do the same. Maybe we both just came up with a good idea. Let's both send it, dude. I'm down.
I'm down.
Yeah, that was it was Toysmith. I'm gonna kill. I just typed it in and I couldn't find it right away, but I'm gonna find the brand because they were one of our biggest Amazon competitors in the beginning because they were like a Caleb Kendama where they didn't have an online personality. They were just a store that sold Kendamas to people who didn't care about getting into the world of Kendama, right? They were just on the outside picking up sales, and that was definitely one of them, dude. It probably was Toysmith, honestly.
I'm trying to look it up too.
Yeah, Toysmith was one of the biggest. they were one of the biggest ones, but they had serial numbers on their kendamas. They were so Chinese manufactured. Like, they just didn't even bother to tell the people to take the, the processing numbers off of them. It was so...
Just leave it.
They showed up to Toy Fair one year with a full lineup. Like, we had all our brand new stuff we had hand painted, and then they just came with these damas that were half as expensive and like half as good. But in the beginning, even like today, a lot of people don't know kendama. So if that's the first thing you see, you go, what makes that one different than this one? Like, people, like no different than you getting that. You were like, what's this thing? You didn't know that it was a $5 dama as opposed to a Sulab, or whatever. Like, there's no reference point for first timers.
I went from this to Kush. That was that was my jump. So nice. I got this, and first day around the world, like Ken flip spike on that. I got it. Like, I picked it up and I was like, I get it. I totally get how you're supposed to use this. And dude, I just started grinding immediately.
How long did it take you to get around the world, Ken flip spike?
I had around the world in like a few minutes. Like, I hit a spike in a couple tries, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's how you're supposed to do that. What else can I do with it? Because I assumed that was the purpose of it, was to spike it. And then I was like, all right, let's figure out what these cups are for. And then I was doing lighthouse and trying lighthouse flips, and that was all like day one.
What? Without any tutorials? Yeah. Without any videos?
No, I just figured it out. I
what kind of psycho are you? That's insane for day one. I've met like a couple people like you who I teach, and they like can get to lighthouse in day one, but it's like someone who has a lot of hand-eye coordination, and you probably fall right into that.
That was Domagos.
Yeah.
That was Domagos. If you follow them, that was day one. They're like, oh, no, okay, no, that makes sense. And now they're just insane. And now they're insane.
That's so insane, dude.
But yeah, so I was grinding for, I don't know, maybe just a couple of weeks, like a month maybe. And then I was like, all right, well, this thing's falling apart, and like the Tama cracked, and I was like, all right, well, like that was cool. And then I saw Josh Grove and Wyatt when I was doing outreach for Finlay. I was just like looking for new communities to check out, just because like, we'd been doing hiking and we'd been doing skateboarding. We're like, let's see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And disc golf too. So I bet disc golf is kind of what pushed that into like our realm.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I saw Josh doing some stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Let's send him some hats. Let's see if he wants to get some hats. And he was like, oh yeah, I'd love some hats. And I had messaged Wyatt Bray the same day, and they're both like, yeah. Come to find out, they're both from Oregon. I'm like, oh, well, this is
no way. You didn't know that. Crazy.
I had no idea. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that people were competing. So when I saw like Wyatt Bray was champion of this, I was like, that's hilarious. I thought it was a joke. I really thought it was a joke. I was just like, oh, these guys are funny. I like this,
No way.
Yeah, I thought it was all just like, like the rivals and stuff. I'm like, get out of here. You got a rival? Okay, yeah, you got a rival with your ball and cup.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But I was stoked on it. I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, I got to figure out what's going on here, because I knew there was something fun to the rivalries and whatever.
Yeah.
But Josh was like, yo, like, thanks for sending out these hats. Like, can I send you a couple of kendamas? And I was like, sure. So I like did an unboxing, and dude, I was like learning lunar flips, and like, I really started like picking it up. Come to find out, 3 months after I started playing, I'd been playing it backwards because I'm left-handed.
The classic.
I learned one-ups. I learned one-ups backwards. I learned lunars backwards. I had to like learn everything like in a totally weird way. Like I had to learn how to do inward lunar.
Oh yeah.
By pulling up, but like pulling up and all the way to the left to almost make it like 180 in the air.
Yeah.
To get up there. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like just pulling it up into it. It was this weird like lunar.
I played a lot of left-handed, right-handed. Yeah, because Christian, I love playing with the left hand, and Christian Fraser, obviously, I've known him from the beginning of my kendama life, and he plays right-handed kendamas as a left-handed player. And his reasoning always was, well, if I play left-handed kendamas, I can't try anyone else's kendamas out. Like, it won't work. Like, it literally is impossible. So in the beginning, he just was like, I learned this way. I'll just keep going because I want to play my friend's Mugen, and I can't if it's not lefty. Not can't is the wrong word, but I always thought that was a really interesting, reason to not switch, you know? So did you switch? Do you string up your damas now lefty?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, word.
I'll still pick up whatever, you know, like if everything comes right-handed. So usually the first session that I have with any dama, it's backwards still. But I can play it. Honestly, I can play it the same either way because I learned all of my basics backwards and learned them like really well.
Yeah.
I can do pull up either way, whatever. Lunar, whatever way. I can still inward lunar the way that I learned it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So I just keep going lefty after the first session.
No, why not make it easier on yourself? I agree 100%.
Yeah. Like, I want to finish this thing now. I don't want to re-wait it. Do that later after I got my fresh dama fix in.
Yeah, dude. So on social media, obviously that's where you viewed most of your kendama. Is there people in the beginning who inspired you to keep going, to get better? Like, is there accounts that you were like, these were the dudes that were pushing you?
It was Josh. Josh was like the guy for me. I bought a slackline because of that guy.
Hey, let's go.
I saw him do a slackline clip and I was like, I'm doing that. I want to do that. I had been wanting to get on your team. So I was like, I'm just going to follow all the Sweets guys and I'm going to try to do what they're doing. I remember Coop did this weird foot kickstart thing and challenge people to do it. And I was like, I'm going to be the first one. I was pretty much, just watching your guys' crew. And cause that was my first introduction into it.
Yeah.
And Bonds and Wyatt, because all the chrome graphics really stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just their kind of metal punk rock, grimy style stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much that squad of people.
Yeah, cool. And so we get to present day Hesh in Kendama, and recently you've been sponsored by Cereal Kendama, man. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be.
Dude, so that was a surprise, honestly. It came out of nowhere. I thought, so Johnny hit me up, the owner of Cereal, and he was like, hey man, can we hop on a video call soon? And I was like, oh sure. I figured it was, they wanted to make some hats or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all of my paperwork ready and okay, I've got all my all my spreadsheets open, make sure I can get it all their stuff plugged in and whatever. Yeah. So I was fully in Finlay mode, had no idea. And then they popped a question and I was just like, oh, this was unexpected.
Yeah.
I'd never, I'd never gotten any float damas or anything really. They'd help me out on I didn't want to buy a 2-pack, so they hooked me up with a single one for a good deal, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd been making posts and stuff for them. I did not know that I was on their radar at all. I really didn't. I just
did.
I was in utter shock, and I'm still I can't believe it. There are so many talented kendama players that all deserve sponsorships, and honestly, it's a lot of pressure for me to be so new to the community, and honestly, to be able to gain the trust of everyone, to see that I'm not just some content creator guy that's trying to make a bag from kendama. We all know you can't, so
I think being the content creator guy is not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. And as far as a business owner goes, the way I see things, you are more desirable regardless of your skill level, because the way you interact is fun and cool and inviting, not like this, I'm better than you and buy what I sell. And you know what I'm saying? You're a very inviting dude. And I think that's a big part of why a company like Cereal would be stoked, because, they know you see a lot of people, and they probably a lot of your followers still, whether they like kendama or not, is still up for debate. So there's always
Yeah.
like that chance that someone could switch at any time based on a design
Well,
or anything.
yeah, and I think that's a really an interesting point that you make, is that there's people that still aren't even into kendama, that see it all the time, but they're going to know somebody who's going to be into kendama or might like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my wife picked it up and she's like, that thing looks like he would like this. So
100%. Everyone does that.
yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
honestly for me, the moment that I accepted the sponsorship, my main focus went from, like, obviously leveling up is super important because it fuels your kendama journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes you want to keep playing.
Yeah.
But for me it was like, okay, I have so much fun with this, and I have, and I'm constantly feeling fulfilled and creating new relationships with new people, and all this stuff. How can I, for that person that doesn't like kendama, how can I make this accessible to them, or make it so that it's still fun in a way that, even if they didn't have any idea what just happened, it was vibrant and the music was good and the scene looked nice and it was still an enjoyable process.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever we can do, and I mean, and everyone watching, I implore you, if you are afraid to post your clips, don't be. Because all that it's going to do is it could very well reach that one person who gets just as stoked as we are about kendama, and that's going to, I mean, build the community that much more. Just like, post stuff,
Yeah.
put kendama on the internet everywhere.
That
Just put it out there so more people can experience what we experience.
that's such
So,
a good simple thing,
like,
honestly.
that's all I want out of the opportunity, is just to
Yeah.
bring more people to it.
Yeah. Well, I think, and we need it. Kendama needs always more people. Like, there's a lot of young people, I think, who coming up don't know kendama because
Yes.
there's so much on the internet that finding a kendama clip is like a needle in a haystack. So it's really, even if all of us are posting, we're still so small that, like, everyone, big or small, you need to be like reaching out and trying to get new people into kendama, because we're not going to get bigger playing by ourselves in our little circle. We have to reach out, and that's, again, like I said, I think that's one of your biggest qualities personally. I think that's awesome, because that's a business owner, that's like all I'm trying to do most days is get new users into it, and people like
Yeah.
you get me excited because I know there's help out there, with the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's something that, and again, for anyone that's watching, if you're like, man, I wanted to start making content, or I don't know how to do it, or whatever, please email me, message me, like, please hit me up.
look at that.
Like, dude, I want nothing more than people to be like sharing kendama, and if I can, like, I will give that information away for free, all of it. I will always give it away to anybody who asks. Like, the same reason I've made, those the tracking, how to edit videos and
Yep.
stuff like that. Is people ask so much, and I'm like, well, interesting little story about that. Because I want the non kendama player to be interested in kendama, I pass everything through my wife, and always have. Every trick, she sees it. And it got to the point where she was seeing tricks and she's like, I can't tell the difference between them. So I started editing my videos that way so that she could figure out what's going on. And just like little things like that of making, and now she goes, oh, and she can pick out, that was a lunar, that was a lighthouse, that flipped twice, that did this, that did that.
Yeah.
And little tiny things like that, the more we have, even people doing stuff like that, of just like breaking down the trick and making sure people can see what's going on, stuff like that. Oh my God, it gets people so much more involved and going, oh, now I get it, and I might be able to do that because A, B, and C.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, my
Yeah.
wheel is always turning, dude. Like, how can I get the non-kendama player interested? 'Cause we're already obsessed.
Yeah. And I think the hard part is getting the rest of our community to be in that mindset, because we are all in our echo chamber trying to land the gnarliest trick to get the most likes at the same exact time. Like,
Yeah.
for every person that's doing what you're saying, there's 10 to 100 people doing what I just said, trying to
Right.
fight for those likes and those views via hard tricks. So I think what your point is clear. Like, you don't have to have epic tricks to still like
Not
help
at all.
and to provide useful content to the community. And I think that's everyone open your ears if you did not hear it, because it is all of it is important. That's for sure.
Post your clips. Post them.
We're towards the end, so I want chat. If you guys have any questions, now is a good time to put them in, and we'll rattle off a few.
Yay.
As a last thing, I guess I wanted to just congratulate you on almost 1,000 days being sober. I think that is super cool and super like admirable. And anyone who can go through that and come out the other side a better person, I'm always super amazed and super thankful that they were able to do that. And you are, a testament in the biggest way. And I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but did you find Kendama near the same time that you quit alcohol? Is it something that helped at all? Like, because these are things that I've like thought and assumed, but never asked you. So, is that true?
Yeah, it is true. So I had put down Kendama just for a little bit right before I had decided to get sober. And right then, like, at that time, I was just like, yo, what am I gonna do? And I was like, I need to get fit and I need to fill my time with something. But I was at the time I was 250 pounds almost.
Whoa.
Which yeah.
Crazy.
And I'm 190 something now, so I was one of my children heavier.
Dang,
and
congrats,
I couldn't skateboard,
bro.
dude. I couldn't skateboard. I couldn't jump. I'm like, I could, but like I couldn't get up onto my rail at the lowest setting. So I was like, so what am I gonna do? Just sit around?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's pick up. I'd just gotten the Damas from Josh and them, like kind of, we'll say within a month to 2 months of that starting. And then it was just grind, go outside. Like I was still drinking a little bit. Yeah, maybe 2 months after I really started grinding, I got sober, and then it kind of went from there. The timeline's kind of fuzzy because I was drunk all the
time. Yeah. Oh man, it's not an easy thing to deal with, dude. Yeah, and Kendama helps people in lots of weird ways. So it's the tricking of the brain is giving you that thing to do that isn't just pounding drinks. It's like you get to activate your mind and get that serotonin some other way. And I've heard of it working for certain people, but I think you are the first real life human that applied it in that way and has still kept with it to this point, as a thing. So congratulations. I didn't know how to ask it as a question, but I wanted to bring it up because it's something to be proud of.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think something that Kendama taught me during sobriety was that there were a lot of things I was doing in my life before that required a drink before, even if it was like, I'm going over to my aunt's house that I don't really like that much. I'm gonna take a shot before, or like any social thing, I'm going to go to the bar, but I only go because I have a couple drinks and I don't mind it as much. I started picking at those things where I was like, I only do this if I've this first, or I only do this if I've done this first. So why am I doing it at all? Why am I doing that thing at all? Why am I putting myself in places where I have to do A, B, or C, even if it's not have a shot or smoke a joint or whatever? If I'm having to mentally prepare myself to deal with whatever is there more than I'm able to enjoy that thing, I'm not doing that thing anymore. And oh my gosh, the amount of stuff that I was just like, I'm not doing any of this shit anymore, because you can then find things that are fulfilling naturally, like Kendama. And that was it for me. I was like, bro, I'm getting high as shit on this thing every day. Like, eyes wide open, sweat pouring off of me. If you didn't see me somewhere else, you might think I was on something. Yeah. But I've been jamming this thing for an hour, and you see me going, and I've been drinking water the whole time.
Yeah, go figure, bro. I think I appreciate you sharing those stories, because I think it's something all of us deal with to a certain extent, like you said, whether it's weed or alcohol or anything else that you need to do before because you don't actually want to do the thing you're doing. Just think about that for a second, in your own life, and think about, why and how, because you're in control of those things. And it's not easy to think about yourself and take those times to like change your life for the better. But you inspire me to be better always. So I appreciate you joining our community, and I like following you because it's always uplifting seeing what you have to say and what you're trying to accomplish, man. So I appreciate you a lot.
Oh, thanks, dude. I really that makes me want to cry. I'll cry after this.
Sounds good, dude. Not so many questions, but a lot of people in chat saying that you got them into Kendama, that they got their first Kendama before you, that they like following you as well. So chat is a big fan of Hesh Dad. You've touched a lot of people in Kendama, man, and it's only been 3 years, so I can't imagine when we look back at you on your 10-year anniversary of Kendama, what you've accomplished in the next 7 years, dude. And I hope it's
gonna be a lot. I hope,
dude. I hope. And it starts with JK, or it starts with Japan. So go there. I urge you to go to the JK office and try to take a dawn test if you can squeeze it in. If you really want to do the traditional thing, I can give you the names and I can give you places to go if you truly would like to take the original Japanese Kendama test and get a ranking.
Yes.
Because to me, that is like, that's why I went to Japan. Like there wasn't KWC, it was only to get my JK black belt essentially. So as a traditionalist of sorts, I feel like you would love the process and just the practice that goes into getting ready for one of those. So
I didn't even know it existed until right now. So I'm very interested to learn about that.
Sheesh. Yeah.
I'm very excited to check that out. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I'll hit you up after. The JK is the JK, but they have like a black belt system essentially from 1 to 6, and they're tests that you can take once a month, and like they're very stringent, very like technical, but if you pass it, you get a certificate and you can be part of the you can be an official member, like you can have a membership to the JKA, and like there's a lot of different things that you can do to be a part of that community and level up. And yeah. So I'll let's connect off stream, because I went through it. It took me 8, 9, 10 different tests through 6, 7 years to get my 6th dan, but that was like my driving force of like Kendama traditionalism, I guess, at its finest. So I challenge you to get your first dan, dude. Exactly. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I really appreciate you being here with me today. And like I said, thanks for everything you do, and keep up the good work, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, dude. And thanks to everyone for tuning in and always showing me so much love. It means the world to me.
Oh, dude, that sounds good. Well, we'll see you on the internet, brother.
All right. Peace.
Until next time, man. Later.